If you're somebody who feels safer when you're controlling your environment, this is a very scary time because we don't have any control. I can relate to this feeling. As a single mom, I had a lot of moving parts that I was juggling constantly in order to make sure all of these pieces were together so that I could accomplish my goals of having a career, helping people. And when the quarantine began, I was no longer able to work and my daughter was no longer going to school. I saw all of the pieces drop. I watched all of my working parts stop working. This made me feel very out of control, very afraid, very sad, very, hopeless, I guess. So I was sitting on my lanai in this feeling one day, my balcony, and I'm watching my daughter, who just turned 4, determined to accomplish this goal. This goal she had was to fill up a bucket of water. The means of which to fill up her bucket was to use a little soap dispenser with no lid. It was empty. And I watched her go through the efforts of moving the chair to reach the faucet, climb up and down the chair, walk down the little pathway, fill up her bucket one little fill up at a time. Eventually the water began to spill in her path, creating a slippery pathway for her, and eventually she slipped and fell, creating a little crack at the bottom of her soap dispenser, making the whole thing take twice as long. And I watched her and I said, "Baby, can Mama help you?" "No, Mama, I got this." It was heartbreaking. It was hard to watch. How easy it would have been for me to just turn on the faucet and fill up that bucket for her. But that wasn't what she wanted. She wanted to do it herself. And in that moment, everything became so clear. It was like the universe, God, the divine, was showing me, this is what you're like, Sarah. Yes, you could fill up that bucket eventually, but it doesn't have to be this hard. Yes, I do have these goals, and I had all these working pieces that I'm juggling, and it had to stop because the greater good who loves me doesn't want it to be this hard for me. So I had to be stopped in order to receive help to make it easier. I wanted to help Luna, but she wouldn't let me. She was determined to do it her way. I'm very much the same way. But I don't want to do it my own way, really. Really, I want help. Really, I want it to be easier. Really, I want to take the path of least resistance. But like her, I'm determined. Would I ever have stopped had there not been a pandemic that made me stop working, that made her be out of school? No, I wouldn't have stopped. And now, after a grieving period, after a shifting, after a letting go, after allowing, after surrendering, I realize I am still able to work. It just looks different. And the benefit of this is that I'm willing to receive the help. I'm willing to let go of the steering wheel and trust my intuition and let that guide me rather than my logic. I wanted to share this with you because I know that if this lesson meant something to me, it would mean something to you too. Is there something that you have been spearheading, pushing, grinding, elbows up, fighting for with all of your might? And is there an easier way? Could we allow a little more? Could we surrender? Could we be more in our feminine power and let the bees come to the flower and do the work for us? I'm not saying that no longer will things be hard. Obviously not. I'm not saying that no longer will We work hard. But what I am saying is, the more we move from our intuition, from our imagination, from that love space within us, the more we are able to surrender and allow for help. We are not meant to do this alone. We are meant to be supported. We are meant to receive help. It's supposed to be graceful. And yes, there's going to be bumps and lessons and bruises along the way. But how great would it be to just say, here's my bucket. Can you fill it up for me? Then let me take that bucket and do with it what I'm meant to do. I know allowing and surrendering isn't easy when you feel safe when you're in control. Because allowing can sometimes feel like you're not in control. Surrendering can feel like giving up. But what if it's not? What if it's just being the child sometimes in the way that the universe, the great mother, can come and help us when we need that help? Just a thought.